you all are Cape Codders. I'm an honorary Cape Codder. I spent my life for 9 months of the year in Mount Kisco, New York, waiting till we could get back to the Cape. So North East Ham, Nauset Light Beach is my home forever and always, even though I don't have a home there. And that lighthouse put me to sleep every summer of my life. So I'm always thrilled to come back. So, and I've been playing with Kind Yoga ever since before it was invented. And I just led Let Your Yoga Dance, a Wild and Wise Women Festival with Diane at Kripalu. And at the end, I said to them, here I was sitting at Kripalu Center where I've directed yoga teacher training for many, many years. And I said to them, if you're looking for the best yoga training in the world, it's Kind Yoga. It's Kind Yoga School. So I feel you really couldn't be in a better place. This is where I would go if I were starting out, or sometimes I just like to be on the faculty so I can come back and be in the energy. Because to me, yoga has gotten very unkind. There's a lot about it that I just don't like, and I hardly go to any classes. Diane's I do go to. I would go to any Kind Yoga class, but for me, over the decades, all of that sun salute business has turned my poor little wrists into very unhappy campers. And so, it's very common to do, 500 sun salutes. And the body workers at Kripalu always go, oh, okay, this weekend there's a lot of sun salutes happening, we're gonna get a lot of work. That's not okay. It's not okay to be happy as a body worker because yogis are harming themselves. And I'm not saying don't do the sun salute, but whenever I think about it, I go like this. I squeeze my poor little wrists, and I know I'm one of thousands. People say the down dog is a resting pose. Maybe for a few people, but for a whole bunch of us, it's a horrible pose. I always am having to modify and get on my elbows or forearms or whatever. So, the yoga that I do and the yoga that you are learning to do, well, you already do it because you're in the 500, is a kind practice and accessible for everybody. And over the years, I taught. I was in the ashram. A lot of you don't know me. I was an actor by trade, but then took a weekend at Kripalu when it was an ashram back in 1984, and I just didn't leave until the ashram ended. So for 12 years I lived in the ashram, so I really have been steeped in the yoga tradition, the Kripalu yoga tradition. And as I was playing there those 12 years, there was a dance form there too, which was nice. It was a spiritual aerobics class called Dance Kinetics, and I took that and made it into my own because I wanted to get a lot more yoga into it, and I wanted to play with the chakras and the yamas and niyamas. Now I hear that you're on chakra 5. Yeah. Very good. And the yamas and niyamas, of course, that was probably part of your 200 hour, I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. So my work, which is called Let Your Yoga Dance, is really fusing all of these elements. So yes, this is yoga in chairs and out of chairs. We'll be off the chairs a little bit after a while, because I have found over the years that if people can get up, I want them to get up. I don't want them to be in the chair the whole time. If they're wheelchair bound, of course, they stay in the chair, but this work that I do is it's user friendly. People need to stay in the chair, they stay in the chair. If they can get up, they get up. So we'll be doing some moving yoga in chairs, and then we'll be doing some standing, and of course all of you can stand, so that will be easy for you, but you could just imagine, staying in the chair, and it all works. So you'll find some new vocabulary today. I thought it would be really interesting, and is there somebody not in the 500 hour here, anybody? Oh, so there's 3 of you, so you all probably don't know everybody either, right? Those of you who are here. So I thought I'd do an experiment. So could you just turn to somebody in your group, 2 and 2, just make a 2, so maybe near each other, like you 2 could be together, and just hook up that way. I think it's even. Yeah. And then you need to, go over to each other's house so you can really this is here. And then, you might not know each other.
My name is Kate.
So this is what your task is.
Lori, okay, you're in the 500 hours.
I think it's really important to get intentional. It's real, I mean, yes, most of you came today because you have to. Yay, on this sunny day, I thought, oh, golly, I'm so glad this is a training, because nobody would want to come. I wouldn't get indoors if on a day like this. But whether or not you came because, you know, Diane said if you want to graduate, you have to take this day. Okay, I'm doing this thing called yoga for special populations, and this person has come in and she's putting movement into it too. Now, what's that going to be? So, what's your intention? What would you like to get out of this afternoon? You know, how would you like to feel by the end? You know, you might be coming from new tools and this and that and the other, but it's also, you know, you could make it a spiritual event. It certainly is for me. This practice for me is my path. So I feel like I'm a self-ordained minister. And welcome to my church. I also call this grace in motion, which is really fun. So, all right, so if you could look at one another and just say your name and what you'd like from the afternoons, and then one thing about yourself. It could be we have a multi-dimensional self. It could be your body, it could be your heart and mind, it could be the fact that you're a good listener. I don't care what it is, but one thing about yourself for which you're grateful, okay? Name what your intention is, and one thing about yourself that you're grateful for, and I'll tell you when to switch. You probably have 50 seconds each, not more. Okay? So part of it, and get each other's names.
My name is Tina. And I was like, wow, that was
But anyways.
30 more seconds? 30 more seconds?
I like my
All right, and now switch, partner number 2.
Oh, we already did it.
Oh, we did. I said switch. Oh, well, then keep at it. I
here, right. And I missed it. The first 10 we
It's actually
All right, now, make sure you know each other's names. Those of you who are new to this place. And also, do you remember what the intention was of your buddy this afternoon? Because you're going to introduce your buddy to the group, all right? So if you can't quite remember, just ask, what did you want again? That's all.
Oh, yeah.
I forget things pretty easily.
It's what we're grateful for.
Yeah, so grateful and also what you want them to do. So if you didn't do that, make sure you know their intention. So there's three things. You're going to introduce your buddy with their name and their intention, and it could be just 2 words, it doesn't have, and something they're grateful for about themselves, okay? So would you like to start over here? You both can do it, and then we'll go to the next part.
So this is Kaylee.
Hello.
And it's to everybody, you're not just me, it's everybody.
This is Kaylee.
Notice the big voice, the kind yoga big voice, yes.
And she wants to be a better teacher, and that's what she hopes to gain today,
And what she's grateful for about herself?
for her empathy.
Okay, that's switch.
This is Melissa. And she wants to she has no preconceived notions of today. She just wants to enjoy herself and be happy that she came and take whatever she may from it. And she is grateful for being creative.
Thank you, okay.
This is Susie, and she came here wanting to find ways to teach special populations.